The Indiana fever that swept the nation this summer was quickly brought to an end by the Connecticut Sun. All the same, the Caitlin Clark effect was evident during the WNBA playoffs. In Game 2, Caitlin Clark used eye-poking tactics to scare the Sun. WNBA watching records were set in the Fever Stars' final rookie game, an 8-7-8-1 loss. In response, the former WNBA club tweeted, "Numbers don't lie, it is hard to ignore the fact that women's basketball is developing quickly, in fact." The involvement of Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark just reinforces the player's existing platform. There were almost 2.5 million viewers of the Sun Fever series finale. Approximately 3.4 million people watched the show at its peak. These numbers are higher than those from the last Game 2 between the Phoenix Mercury and the Minnesota Lynx. 2.1 million at its peak and an average of 1.2 million. And I am speaking of the Caitlin Clark encounter. And it has continued endlessly. Beginning in early November of last year, the Caitlin Clark experience has been continuous. If we turn the clocks back 1 year, let's start on October 1st, 2023, and continue that way for a year. In college athletics, she was the biggest star. She assumed that role. When Caitlin Clark arrived, she started a fire. There has been unprecedented growth in the WNBA. Perhaps not even in the entire United States has a sport grown this much in a single year. By February or March of 2024, it's like, whoa, she's the biggest female athlete star in sports history. This is really different. It has never been demanded of a woman to bear this responsibility. No, that hasn't ever occurred in the US. And then you add in the hatred, the jealousy, the media's opposition to her, and all the myths around the game. Lynette Woodward, the girl, what was she? She isn't going to smash my record. I was using a basketball that was actual size. She wasn't. Everything. And I'm thinking, whoa. Naturally, Angel Reese is also taunting her, which is why the media is uncomfortable and everything. The top player is actually Paige Becker. Paige Becker is aware of her privilege as a white person. Not Caitlin Clark, that is. This is where the league's entire situation went awry. Despite being the chosen one, she was treated like trash by the league. She was not what they wanted. But it didn't turn out that way. When Clark took over, the statistics broke records. Clark is now, however, out of the playoffs. It's the WNBA that's malfunctioning and facing difficulties. In terms of viewership, the series finale could as well have been the season finale, and the WNBA knows this all too well. The playoffs viewership will only decline from this point on. Why then should we pay attention? In other words, because there isn't a show, there's no incentive to turn it on. However, there's a sinister quality about her removal. It appears that the W wanted this in order to divert their attention to someone else. Recall from my last video that she was turned down for usage as a poster girl by both the WNBA and Nike. They do appear to have personal agendas, though. To find anything to bring her down on, they strive to put her in an impossible situation. The momentum just keeps growing until, she is rejected for the Olympics and faces all of the WNBA's and Cheryl Swopes' hate. Everything simply keeps growing and sustaining itself. There are people sitting out here asking her questions while she's enjoying this amazing deal. She answered, hey, look, her exact words weren't these exact words, but it's just like, I just want a ball to the guy who asked her this extremely dumb question. I forgot who asked her, I'm not interested, and WNBA players became irate. It is not our privilege to limit ourselves to basketball. These social issues must concern us. She plays in a social problems league where the players want to promote some kind of political agenda, wear voting jerseys and yell Black Lives Matter. All she wants is the ball. She only wants to be the best basketball player, but she's entangled in racial and political issues and deals with companies like Nike, which signed her to a low-paying contract and is now telling her that they won't promote her until after they finish promoting A'ja Wilson. I mean, you can sort of see what's happening here. However, it isn't limited to Clark. Right today, being a fan is likewise a crime, disparaging her followers in these. The players for the Indiana Fever are also entangled in this. All of them are now having talks that they did not previously have. The league's progress this year is disheartening because of Caitlin Clark, yet she is being used as a scapegoat for what appears to be other people's envy. The idea that Nike and the WNBA don't want to take advantage of one of the biggest talents in the US right now is absurd. Jason continued, "The truth is what comes next because nobody should have to go through what they did. However, with class, I have to give them props for their effort, for the way they came together, for the way they battled, for Caitlin Clark's declaration that she is not a punk, and for Erica Wheeler's declaration that she has your back." Hats off to Christy Sides, the young coach who helped them win, Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, and all of them. He may not have been the ideal coach, but he was a vital part of their success. And that is precisely that way. When Clark arrived, she set fire to the W world. The league was unknown at first, but these days there are teams eager to join, teams bringing their own planes for distant games, and pubs in Iceland staying up late to watch Caitlin Clark in action. That is the current size of the league. But has she been mistreated by the league? How do you feel? She had one last gift for us, even though she was eliminated from the playoffs this week. In the nail-biter, Clark shocked the fans with a game-high 25 points, 9 assists, and 6 rebounds. Following Maya Moore, the Iowa University alumnus recorded 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds in a playoff game, becoming him the second rookie in league history. Despite playing against the NFL, it was a fitting farewell after Sunday's 1.84 million strong attendance at Game 1. People of all color, gender, and faith will undoubtedly pay attention to Caitlin Clark when she appears on the big stage. There is a lot of interest in the WNBA. It now has to figure out how to do it in an ethical manner. Tickets for Fevers won't go out of style very soon. The WNBA is trying to take advantage of every opportunity in order to help the teams turn a profit at last. The good news is that potential investors are reaching out to find a place that might work for their expansion. The WNBA playoffs are over for Clark, but one thing is for sure. On significant occasions, Caitlin Clark fulfilled her lofty expectations. Aaliyah Clark, the 2023 Rookie of the Year to qualify for the WNBA playoffs, Boston and guard Kesley Mitchell, an all-star, overcame a demanding 7 games in 12 days to begin the season. Clark was forthright when questioned about all of the history she has made since graduating from Iowa University. The only disturbing thing Clark's fans had to learn was that they would never know what gave her the biggest smile. The only people with access to such backroom views of a star who is merely attempting to occasionally let her guard down and let her hair down are the other players, coaches, trainers, and support personnel. Clark remarked, "I feel like there have been so many amazing moments, but my favorite moments are the ones that none of you get to see. It's the people I get to spend time with, not the basketball. That is what has been most memorable for me, whether it is my teammates or my family. Those individuals, in my opinion, are the ones who know me the best. Those are the ones that truly mean something to me." Clark went on, "Basketball is basketball. It is what it is. The people in my life are what enable me to excel at it, enjoy myself immensely, and be who I am. It's not comparable to anything on the court that I could choose as the most memorable rookie year experience. Indeed, there have been many memorable experiences, such as qualifying for the NCAA National Championship game, getting selected and making the playoffs. All of stuff is great, but what matters are the relationships, the people, and the memories that go beyond it all." In closing, Clark offered some off-season guidance for those who are mild-mannered or enjoy warm weather. "As a professional athlete, I think you are doing it incorrectly if it's not for you," Clark said. "While winning championships is fantastic, you also want to have excellent interpersonal relationships. It seems like everything is involved, and it's impossible to focus on just one aspect. For Caitlin Clark, almost everyone would give her WNBA Rookie of the Year campaign an A. Naturally, Clark needs to be more thorough in her study of each case." That's how the star of the WNBA got here. Clark stated, "I grade really hard, although I think I accomplished a lot this year. I enjoy that I feel like I'm still learning a lot. I'm the type of person that scrutinizes everything I do. I'm certain that I want to support this squad and my teammates in becoming even better. I know I can still become better, and I want to be a great player for my teammates. I'm most excited about that. I think I still have a lot of improvement left in me." Clark explained one of the worst instances and devoted a great deal of time to talking about the best. "There has to come an end to the first fairytale WNBA title run. According to Clark, it's a nice little taste of what this company and this franchise are capable of. It's true that there are many things to be proud of. 2 years ago, this team won 5 games. Even though we're a young, inexperienced group, we nonetheless got together and had a great time playing together. The toughest thing about it sometimes is that just when you think you're playing your best basketball, it has to end. But like I said, I'm proud of this group because they persevered throughout the year and had a great time as a team. In her season-ending game against the Connecticut Sun in the playoffs, she made headlines by scoring 25 points in a tough loss. Clark's performance in spite of the loss showed her great talent and promise in her rookie campaign. She averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. She was also sent off with some inspirational comments, as her season should have done. The segment's host, Molly Karam, passionately emphasized the significance of Clark's playoff game over the Dallas Cowboys Week 4 matchup, which took place that same evening. This demonstrates just how incredible the season was for the WNBA as a whole. She said that the Dallas Cowboys, who played tonight, did not start the broadcast with the first take. This statement demonstrated the influence of Clark as well as a change in sports media culture. Preference for women's basketball demonstrates the growing respect and popularity of the league among supporters. It signifies a change in the narrative, with women's sports eclipsing traditional sports dominated by males in importance. Karam has drawn heat all season long for her prior remarks on her statement in June that Clark's inclusion on the Paris Olympics roster would be detrimental to the game caused a great deal of controversy. This antagonistic behavior began just before the Olympics when USA Basketball chose to exclude the rookie from the team. While some experts, most notably Stephen A. Smith, supported Clark's involvement, Karam argued that the women's game would be compromised if Clark was selected over a more qualified player. Although many critics, including Karam, were silenced by Clark's performances throughout the season, her passionate feelings remained apparent. She talked about how Clark has drawn attention from fans both inside and outside of women's basketball during the First Take segment. The story surrounding the rookie's potential has changed as a result of her outstanding statistics and obvious talent, which have solidified her place among the sport's rising stars. The broadcast analysts praised Clark's efforts with great enthusiasm. WNBA commentator Chini Agumite called Clark the most influential player in a generation. Most people agree with this sentiment because Clark has had a lasting influence in such a short amount of time, as acknowledged by both professionals and fans. Her journey from becoming the all-time leading scorer in the NCAA to becoming well-known in the WNBA is amazing. Clark is going to get a lot out of this well-earned break as the Indiana Fever get ready for the new campaign. She will have time throughout the offseason to rest and get ready for another combat year. As she continues to build on the momentum from her first season, expectations will only rise. It's important to keep an eye on Caitlin Clark while she works toward her future objectives. The WNBA has seen a revolutionary season, and as Karam said, Clark's story represents a turning point in the narrative for women's basketball, one that shifts toward acknowledgement, celebration, and possibilities for the future. Which of the Clark moments this season was your favorite? Was it the triple-double, or maybe shattering the assist record, or the fact that, as a rookie, she scored the most points in the whole league? Tell me in the comments section below. She has been nothing short of amazing, and she will continue to be so come next year. Additionally, be sure to subscribe so you can get daily WNBA updates if you want to be there.